Have you ever had long-lasting feelings of loneliness, worry, or sadness that just wouldn't go away? Feelings are something that everyone, even the strongest people, can relate to. It seems that even though the ancient Stoics were known for being incredibly brave and persistent, they also had sad or lonely moments. What made them different? In this video, we'll look at 12 Stoic techniques that can help you turn these difficult feelings into opportunities for growth. Remember that, like the Stoics, you have the inner strength to face these feelings head-on and come out better, even if you're feeling alone, overwhelmed, or stuck. This means you know how to deal with these emotions as challenges. Stay together until it's time to close one story and start a new one. We'll look at some time 1. Get your body moving. Exercise isn't just a way to stay fit. It's also an important way to fight depression and loneliness. Think of it as a conversation you're having with yourself, where your strength and resilience are strengthened with every movement. Whether you're stretching, jogging, or walking, you're actively moving toward a calmer, more lucid state of mind instead of just running. The point of this method is to write an inspiring story of triumph for yourself. Every step you take, every breath you take, adds a new chapter to your recovery story. Now let's get real. When you're sad or lonely, you might want to curl up and shut out the world. But this secret isn't so secret after all. Your body has an amazing ability to protect itself from these shadows. You light a beacon inside yourself by moving illumin. Whether you're taking a brisk walk in the park or dancing alone in your living room, every action is an attack on the bonds of hopelessness. It's a reminder that you are in charge and that you can make the path to happiness and recovery that works for you. To improve your friendship with yourself, even though treating yourself as your best friend may seem like a new take on old advice, for a short time, it's a very powerful way to fight the darkness of sadness and loneliness. Imagine yourself in a tough situation. Ascend life's mountain, which is full of hurdles that seem impossible to overcome. Would you tell a friend off for making this mistake, or would you offer to help? Say something positive to them and believe in their ability to triumph. Think of Clinton. An old Stoic philosopher once heard a soul talking to itself as if it were an unworthy outsider. Clint's contribution was simple, but powerful. He broke through the cycle of loneliness and self-criticism with sharp wit and a gentle reminder. Remember, you're not talking to a bad person. This isn't your average historical story. It's a reflection of our own struggles, in which loneliness leads to a critical inner voice which then pushes us further away from the comforts of interpersonal relationships. Being friends with yourself in this way isn't about platitudes or fake comfort. It's about being completely honest with yourself when you're about to feel like you don't deserve it. Remember the speech that was made on the streets of Athens? We can't get the love and connection we want if we talk badly to ourselves. Changing your mental view from enemy to ally means realizing that you are a good person and a sentient being with many layers that can be expanded. This understanding is the key to not only loving yourself, but also making it easier for others to see your light. This Stoic cure tells you to be the kind of friend you'd want in others and is wise beyond its years. More satisfaction. 3 people are more satisfied. Goal setting and pursuing ambitions can feel like never-ending quests for happiness, with moments of victory punctuated by an insatiable desire for more. This never-ending pursuit can make us lose sight of the beauty in the present, creating a paradox where success is accompanied by stories of sadness from people who have been in the spotlight but still feel empty inside. Again, this happens way too often. Take the example of an actor who got caught up in a web of anxious unhappiness, even though he was getting a lot of praise for his role on a popular TV show. He wanted to be more famous in the movie business, and his experiences show a very important truth. In the end, what makes us happy is not the praise or success we receive, but our relationship with ourselves. To be content, we need to embrace the present moment and enjoy where we are without letting comparison or the desire for what we lack get in the way. It's about finding fulfillment in the journey, realizing that the pursuit of more can often keep us from the happiness we really want. This method does more than just make us feel less depressed and lonely. It also changes the way we see things, urging us to enjoy the present and find happiness in the simple things in life, instead of the challenges of reaching our goals. Look at the scene from above 4. When you look down from above, imagine being able to see the full length of a place from the view of a spaceship or plane. Even though you are standing on a piece of ground that seems to go on forever, all of a sudden, something appeared. Suddenly, limitless looks like a dot in a fabric that goes on forever. This isn't a book. A lookout ancient Greek wise advice. Marcus Aurelius, emperor of an empire that covered the whole world, knew the importance of planning ahead. He saw the opposition to his power as ants competing for food scraps. This lens reminds us that the ebb and flow of generations, as well as the endless repetition of human nature's dance, are not unique to our time and our own problems. The important events we think about are just snippets of a much longer story. By shifting our focus, we find that most of the time, the things that bother us the most aren't as important as we thought they were, and that even the smallest events are connected to a common human experience. It is a call to take a broader view of the situation. When we realize that we are a small part of a much bigger story that has been told for thousands of years, we can find meaning in both the big and the small things. This shift in perspective helps us see the strength and resilience that have always been at the heart of the human spirit, and it does this without downplaying our experiences by connecting us to the vastness of life itself. 5. Learn to feel what the pain is. Learn to understand how other people feel. Whether you're rowing a crew against the early morning mist as you climb a mountain, or sitting quietly while a meditation group faces the chaos in their minds together, there is a deep strength and charm in working together to get things done. When you do things like running or swimming by yourself, you form bonds with other people that go beyond friendship. They remind you that you're not fighting your battles alone. You're fighting them with other soldiers who share your spirit. Imagine how strong you can be looking into the eyes of someone who is just as vulnerable and driven as you are to push through pain. This is the start of real community, not the ease of simple friendship. Join forces with people who want to do more than just stay alive. That way, you'll never have to face the dark alone, because it's in the fire of shared hardship that we find our true strength. 6. Ask for help. Request. Ask for help. It takes guts to face problems head-on. It all comes down to knowing when to give help. Being strong means meeting the storm head-on, but even the strongest people get weak sometimes. Fighters knew how helpful it was to have a shield wall behind them once there was a Stoic leader who studied philosophy and led fights. Marcus Aurelius showed people who were lost the way. Do not be afraid to ask for help. Like a soldier charging a wall, it's your mission to complete, and if you need help from a friend to get up after getting hurt, what now? This old advice is still useful today, especially for people who feel like the weight of the world is on their shoulders. It's a call to arms to find your legion, your group of people who are ready to fight with you and bear the losses. Being strong means being able to reach out for help, not being able to suffer in silence. If picture support teams instead of an authoritative structure, the rehab circles are based on the idea that everyone is going through the same thing and can help each other. When people are at their weakest, they find a strength that they can all relate to. This shows how strong group resilience is. You are not less of a person for asking for help. In this day and age, Stoics are made, not born. You are walking the wise path that even EMP emperors have trodden. Every voice that asks for help is a step out of the darkness and into the light. Focus on your courses. 7. Pay attention to your route. To get where you want to go in this busy world, you need more than just knowledge. You need discipline to stay on track and not get distracted by the noise. Seneca gave us a sense of our road that wasn't affected by the other routes that come together with it. This old proverb is a good reminder that the real test is not figuring out where to go, but resisting the urge to stray from our path when we see the successes and failures of those around us. It's an exercise in self-confidence and self-control that asks us to focus on our goals and deadlines without giving in to the many distractions that are present in our daily lives. Accepting this path means understanding that everyone's the never-ending search for approval, The freedom from comparison, and the chance to follow our goals without worrying about jealousy or not knowing what to do are the rewards. To keep our way in mind, we remember that everything changes. Build up a toughness that keeps us from falling into the loneliness and sadness that often come with feeling behind the times. Getting through life with a better view. 8. Remember that everything is temporary. Life has a funny way of leveling the playing field so that our actions don't leave a trace. For example, Marcus Aurelius observed that the lowest Roman citizen and even Julius Caesar share the same final address below the Earth's surface. This is a powerful reminder that in the grand scheme of things, our pursuits of fame, significance, or immortality are just temporary murmurs compared to eternity. This ending is a call to focus on steering our own ships through life's rough seas instead of putting our hopes and dreams in the hands of others. It's a call to grow kindness. We should focus on the good things we can do right now to avoid feeling depressed. These are the lights that help us find our way through the illusion of time passing, because what really makes the deepest channels in the river of time are not the cheers of the masses, but the quality of our deeds and the honesty of our character. 9. Accept adversity. When you face problems or heartbreak, it's not a sign that you should give up. It's the universe's way of challenging you. It is nice to sail when the water is calm, but it's the storms that make us realize who we are as a captain. When things don't go as planned in life, it's easy to feel down, but it's exactly these problems, the friction, and the resistance we face that make us better people. We are given a unique chance to grow when we are in the middle of things, when things aren't going as planned, and when our goals seem impossible to reach. This isn't about pining for the good times, it's about embracing the chaos and coming out stronger and wiser. Remember that victory comes after a bitter taste of struggles and challenges overcome, making the sweetness of victory never as satisfying. So keep dancing even when life doesn't go as planned, because that's when you're growing into a better, more confident person. 10. Don't hide how you feel. Do not hold back your feelings. Don't hide how you feel. When you're sad or by yourself, it can feel like you're carrying a huge load. But remember that even the smartest people in ancient times had trouble with these giants. Seneca wrote heartfelt pieces using his pen as a sword and his comfort to embrace the soul. During its worst moments, they were more than just words, they served as lifelines amidst the choppy waves of human emotions. He imparted to us knowledge that is still essential. Today, don't put your emotions in a box and throw the key away. It's not about donning an indifferent armor, rather, it's about acknowledging the tempest of emotions and riding them out as their ruler rather than as their captive. The first step is to realize why a cloud of grief is hanging over you. But being aware that emotions are normal and that human relationships are complex, that's the source of real strength. The dance is between the heart and the head. When the time is right, each person takes the lead. Thus, when the burden of loneliness or grief becomes intolerable, keep in mind that you are not being asked to mute your heart. Rather, you are being asked to listen to it, comprehend it, and see that sometimes the way forward doesn't need suppression, but rather acceptance and insight. 11. Look for peace and quiet. Watch out for stillness and peace. Finding calm might seem like a well-kept secret in a world where everyone is always talking, scrolling, and moving. But it's a cure-all for the soul, especially when depression or loneliness strike. Picture yourself as a rock in the middle of a rough ocean, unmoved by the waves of worry, uncertainty, and loneliness that hit you. Marcus Aurelius's thoughts. It's more important to find your center in the middle of the chaos than to ignore it. Slow down your breathing, put your head down, and keep your feet firmly on the ground. This silence isn't just a thought, it's where magic happens, where the city's creative spirit blooms, relationships grow, and happiness radiates from within. You will find the strength to face the world in this tranquility, not as it spins around you but as you choose to interact with it. By embracing quiet, you do more than just weather the storm. You become skilled at it, the fluid movement that changes times of sadness and loneliness into times of deep peace and purpose. Notice things. 12. See things for what they are, and deal with the fast pace of life. It's easy to get lost in a sea of what-ifs and if-onlys, but there is a powerful way to combat the loneliness and sadness that come with persistently seeking different outcomes, accepting reality as it is. This isn't about giving up or admitting defeat. It's about learning the unexpected lessons in setbacks and finding the strength that comes from embracing life's uncertainty and the harmony that lies beneath the chaos by accepting reality as it is. This point of view doesn't support action. Instead, it encourages people to face life head-on and find meaning and happiness in the world as it comes their way. Think of your life as a river. You can swim against the flow, getting tired as you try to swim back in time or too quickly into the future, or you can float and let the water take you wherever it wants, trusting the journey and enjoying the scenery as you go. Through the ages, people have told us to be aware of what we add to the fire of our lives, happiness and sadness. We grow and find our way to greatness by seeing our events as chances instead of problems, whether we win or lose. We gain strength and a deep, steady happiness. You will grow as a person if you focus on the practice, rather than just the theory. These Stoic solutions are more than just words. They show you how to live a strong and deeply satisfying life every week. Sharing Stoic-inspired thoughts and advice with people around the world who are looking for a more meaningful life is how I connect with them. If your spirit is calling for direction, click on the link below to join us. You will be in charge of your own subscription, and the trip is free but full of benefits. Accept the information that has been around for a long time and see how it changes your life.